Despite growing acceptance, snowboarding was still underground. In the mid-'80s, early contests brought together snowboarders from all over the world, triggering the sport's rapid evolution.
The US Open was huge for us on the East Coast. That's where we went to watch the other guys that were top in the sport show us what they had, and it was our chance to show them what we had.
I started snowboarding up in Tahoe, and not until the first time I went to my first World Championships contest in Breckenridge did I realize that snowboarding existed anywhere except Tahoe. There's European snowboarders, and there's the East Coast Burton guys, and there's the Mount Baker hardcore guys.
It was just a bunch of people, you know, stoked to see that there were other people out there doing it.
As contests evolved, freestyle and freeriding became the focus. These creative, more expressive styles of riding would become the driving forces that would shape snowboarding's future.
The whole birth of freestyle snowboarding came from us being able to ride halfpipes. Back in the day, it was dominated by racing. Racing became so serious, and you didn't like the people you were racing against, and there was all these rivalries. Halfpipe gave it a chance for kids to just be kids.
The tallest halfpipe was probably, if it was 6 feet tall, that was a pretty damn big halfpipe, you know? And it was just really just a mess. It was really just, you know, kind of a mess.
Now you go into these pipes and they're like 20-foot walls, perfectly cut by a pipe dragon, and kids these days get to ride that kind of stuff every day.
You know, a key element of just contests in general was the fact that you got media out there, and those photographers would open the eyes of millions of people.
Every single kid would look at those magazines and go, oh my God, I want to do that.
Magazines were a way to show progression. It was a way to show trends. It was a way to touch everyone all over the world about what was happening in our sport. But then with the advent of the snowboard video, we were like, whoa, snowboarding is way different than the way we do it. Let's do it that way.
When I first started snowboarding, the stars of the sport to me were the guys that were in the videos. You know, the Damian Sanders, Craig Kelly, guys like that. I mean, I would watch a video 25 times, easy.
Film is the biggest influence to snowboarding, maybe more so than contest.
All of a sudden, there's this whole generation of snowboarders that didn't have to go and win contests to be sponsored, and we could go free ride and go ride powder and experience more of snowboarding than just traveling around doing the contest.
Videos helped to look inside and see what else was going on besides when the snowboarders were on the hill, and just more about like their personalities. Oh. And that's what grabbed you. Like, these guys are cool.
You can snowboard all day and just go haywire at night. I mean haywire.
The videos were more geared towards partying and, you know, the whiskey movies or stuff where it's just mayhem.
They had a different idea of what après-ski activities might be. Basically just being jackass before jackass was even cool.
I knew snowboarding was crazy, but when you watch those videos, you really know how nuts it was. And deep down, I think I really wanted to be a part of that.
As the decade changed, so did snowboarding. Increased exposure, a no-limits attitude, and continued progression would push the sport to a level that few had ever imagined.
It seemed like overnight we went from being a threat to being like the saviors of the ski industry. You know, we were bringing kids back onto the mountain, and lift ticket sales started going back up. It seemed like when something flipped, it just flipped very quickly.
Snowboarding was growing so fast, and ski resorts started to realize that they're gonna miss out if they don't allow snowboarding and they don't start catering to snowboarders.
They started advertising on the radio, and we don't allow snowboarders. The year after, they were like, and we have a great half pipe, and they were like completely kissing ass to snowboarders. I hate it when they do that, because all it comes down to is them making money.
The bus was leaving. You're either going to be on the bus or off the bus financially on this thing. And then you saw the exponential growth of snowboarding with double-digit increases every single year. And who wants to miss that boat from a business point of view? And after all, we're running a business here.
Snowboarding just kind of started going mainstream a little bit. There was bigger contests, there was more prize money.
It was such an accelerated path from sleeping in your cars and clipping lift tickets to be able to get up and ride to this huge insurgence of money into the industry.
Before I knew it, we were traveling the world and we forgot how we got there because it just kind of happened overnight.
All of a sudden you started seeing snowboarding commercials on TV.
Why do I use the car? I spent my whole life doing things my own way. American Express never questioned it.
Then you started to see snowboarding more and more and more, and it was like, oh shit, you know, people are into this sport. Snowboarding's cool. And there's a lot of good things that come from it, but there's also a lot of bad things. All these companies are throwing money at us, and all of a sudden it's like, you'll have all these opportunities, which is all cool and everything, but then sometimes you sit back and you're like, am I selling myself out? Am I selling out the soul of snowboarding?
Yeah, but oh no, I'm Monday. Still you just can't please everybody. How bad do you want it?
It definitely makes you feel like you got robbed in a sense, but now we've reached this worldly exposure where it's actually kind of neat, you know, like you have kids all over the world who respect you for what you do and admire you.
What had once been an underground American subculture soon spread to Europe and Japan and became a global phenomenon.
Europe was more focused on racing, and we were more focused on the freestyle aspect of it.
They rode fast, they rode some serious big mountains, a lot of powder, and I think that those riders brought a lot to the development of the whole thing.
In general, the Europeans embraced it, I think, a lot quicker than the Americans.
The Japanese people are amazing, and they're amazingly fanatical about things that they love. And they found snowboarding, and they embraced it, and they turned us into rock stars. We had never felt like that before in the US. When you got to Japan, it was these people, and they knew your names, and they were showing up at airports, and like asking you for autographs everywhere.
There's dudes there that buy 6 boards a year. They're just so obsessive about that. Definitely fueled that billion-dollar industry for sure.